We rely on her expertise and creativity to help bring you some of the most interesting change makers and community leaders in their respective industries. She's also just won Charleston Business Magazine's 2022 South Carolina Women in Business Award. We welcome back Charlotte Berger, founder of Charlotte Berger PR, and she's here to share current trends in PR and how you can use them to promote yourself on this Money Monday. We're great to have you back.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you've been in this business now for how long?
About 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
And you've worked with some big firms before you set out on your own.
Yes.
Over the course of the 10 years, how have things changed?
PR has changed so much. So when I started right out of college, the focus was a lot on big national print publications. Usually there was, a heavy focus specifically on print. Now, so many people are on their phones and on social media, so a lot of it has just shifted digitally. Also in the PR landscape, traditional PR only goes so far. A lot of those publications have fired staff members or significantly downsized, so staying on top of freelancers is really key as well. But overall, it's just more people are on their phones, especially during COVID. Social media numbers are up, and so it's all shifted so much more digitally.
Yeah, and you provide great service to your clients. For people who are not quite ready to go out and hire you to help represent them and build their marketing and business up, what would you say are some ways that people can do it themselves before they can actually get to the place where they can hire you?
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do yourself to kind of get involved with PR. So I would say first and foremost, if you don't already have an Instagram and a Facebook for your business, it's great to start one. Even if you're starting somewhere, it doesn't have to be perfect. Video is really king on Instagram now, which if you've been following the updates from Adam, the founder. He's trying to make it more and more digitally or video focused. So if you can get just a quick shot, if you're a restaurant owner, of the chef in the kitchen or a bartender making a drink, or if you're not a restaurant, if you're an interior designer or real estate, really any industry, you can get video. Don't be afraid to just post something on stories. You got to start somewhere, and the algorithm's really favoring video. So.
Yeah, I have to say, watching, sometimes before I go to bed, if I can't immediately fall asleep, I'll get on my phone and I'll watch these reels on Instagram, and it just runs the gamut of all kinds of crazy things. But then all of a sudden, something that's local will pop in. It's like, oh, they're doing that now? It just, it gets you in front of an audience that you may not have gotten in front of previously. But the key is to be maybe just a little bit creative.
Definitely. I think humor is a big thing, and personality. So, if you're, for reels, kind of walking them through an instructional from start to finish to keep them hooked through the entire video. The average person only stays on a video for about 7 seconds. So if you start the beginning, walking them through, telling them what they're going to see at the end, keep them hooked. But the average person spends 2 hours, 21 minutes on social media a day, which is pretty scary.
That is really scary. Yes. Let's talk about influencer marketing. So what does that mean exactly?
So influencer marketing is basically tapping into people that already have a really strong following on Instagram. So I usually say, minimum 3.5K followers. The trend in influencer marketing is obviously continuing to grow. More companies each year are using it. Influencers are now charging more and more for posts. But our firm really likes working with micro influencers. So those are anyone from 3.5K to say 30K followers. We find that they're a little bit more authentic in their feeds. They're easier to work with. A lot of times locally, there's some great Charleston influencers that will do partnerships in exchange for experiences or product, whether that's hosting them at a restaurant or giving them, some clothing from your boutique, or taking them on a tour of your space. And they don't really typically require as long of a lead time to generate results. So we like micro influencers. There's a lot of great ones in Charleston. I would encourage, the average business owner to just kind of play around on Instagram. If you see somebody that you really love that's kind of on brand, there's a lot in the food and bev space, of course, but a lot in lifestyle, fashion, beauty. And there's some great influencers that, do charge that we work with as well for clients that have a larger budget, especially when it comes to like recipe creation, things like that. It's really time consuming on their end, so you want to make it worth their while too.
And finally, let's talk about podcasts briefly, because podcasts, you don't think, we're just saturated with them. So why would someone want to create a podcast?
So, why they would want to create one, I think if you're going to create one, definitely make sure it's something unique to the space, because there are so many, like you said. But the good news for businesses is there's a ton to tap into that are brand aligned. So there's a great tool, matchmaker.fm. It's free for a free trial, and you can look up podcasts based on category and location. And so there's some great ones here locally that feature a ton of different businesses, ranging from, culinary to fashion. But you can kind of definitely look at kind of the number of like ratings and reviews on iTunes as a good metric to make sure they have a good following.
Very good. Well, Charlotte, you've given us some really great foundational markers to kind of hit as we start building our business. I want to thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on your award.
Thank you so much.
Businesswoman. All right, we're back after this.